Shalom. Shalom, Israel. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. There's an article entitled U.S. Shoots Itself in the Foot, Suspending Open Skies Treaty with Russia, Retired General. You know, I believe just earlier this year, Trump, it was actually in May 12th, I believe, of this year, how Trump suspended the JCPOA, man. All right, or the nuclear arms deal with Iran. So, why would another country, all right, want to continue to do business with America when all they do is break treaties? You know? So it says, America's 2019 defense budget has suspended U.S.-Russia ties under the milestone Open Skies Treaty designed to build trust and reduce tensions. Okay? So we see what time we in, man. We're not in a time of peace. We're not in a time of reducing tensions, man. We're in a time of building tensions. The U.S. could go even further on the heels of an anti-Russian frenzy, and analysts told RT. All right? And, you know, talking about the time of building tensions, here it is. You got these race wars brewing up over here in the United States. I follow the scriptures. And that's another way how we see this place falling. All right? If a kingdom be divided against itself, how can it stand? You know? So like I said, internally as well as internationally, as far as these EU nations, man. You know, the scriptures say, what? They that were at peace with thee have brought thee even to the border. And we see why, man. They gonna turn on you. All right? All these other nations, like we see Turkey is, you know what I'm saying, siding with Russia. All these other nations going to side with Russia, man. They that were at peace with America. You know? A lot of these countries stopped using the American dollar. You know? Which the American dollar is backed by what? Oil. You know? So, hey, we about to see a lot of inflation, man. So, as these things ramp up, it's going to hurt America even more, man. So, it says, America's 2019 defense budget has suspended U.S.-Russia ties under the milestone Open Skies treaties designed to build trust and reduce tension. The U.S. could go even further on the heels of an anti-Russian frenzy, and analysts told RT. Donald Trump has signed the 2019 National Defense Authorization Act into law, one part of which blocked funding for U.S. commitment to Open Skies Treaty with Russia. The landmark accord, signed after the end of the Cold War, has effectively been suspended until the president certifies to Congress that penalties have been imposed on Russia for what the law said were treaty violations by Moscow. A Russian military expert has provided his take on what to expect from the U.S. given this recent move. Gennady Buzinski, retired lieutenant general and board director at General Security NGO PIR Center, suggested the U.S. suspended Open Skies cooperation due to their aging Air Force jets capable of flying observation missions. I'll read it again. A Russian military expert has provided his take on what to expect from the U.S. given this recent move. Gennady Buzinski, retired lieutenant general and board director at International Security, suggested the U.S. suspended Open Skies cooperation due to their aging Air Force jets capable of flying observation missions. We've built 2 new Open Skies capable jets fitted with digital equipment, the Tupolev 214, but they still use old ones, he said, adding the Americans don't like finding themselves in a flawed situation. So basically, what this guy is saying, this Russian general is saying that the American, I guess their jets, yeah, he was saying that their jets can't keep up to par with the Russian jets, man. You know? So they basically feel, what's the word, how to describe it? They feel, I don't know. What's the word? I can't even think of the word. They feel outnumbered. so to speak. You know, not outnumbered, but they feel not as powerful. You know, it says we built 2 new open skies capable jets fitted with digital equipment. He explained Washington is not actually walking away from the Open Skies Treaty. What the U.S. military will do is cease requesting observation flights over Russia, while at the same time rejecting similar requests from Russian counterparts. They could do anything on the back of this anti-Russian hysteria. They could shoot themselves in the foot or head, he suggested. A draft version of the 2019 NDAA would have also jeopardized U.S. commitment under the landmark Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. Signed back in 2010, the agreement ensures strategic parity between the 2 nuclear superpowers. Under the treaty, each side is allowed to possess no more than 800 intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, submarine-launched ballistic missiles, and strategic bombers in total. While the designated number of deployed nuclear warheads is limited to 1,550 for each side, the treaty also requires that Moscow and Washington exchange information about their nuclear arsenals. You know? So, like I said, these other nations are as we see, they're coming against America, man. America's, you know what I'm saying, basically, you know, ripping up treaties left and right, man. I was trying to look for the one in Psalms where it says that they that were at peace with thee. Let me see, I think it's 55. 55 and 20. He had put forth his hands against such as were at peace with him. He had broken his covenants. Okay, and that's what these Russians, and like I said, these other nations, like the smaller nations like Iran, which is backed by Russia, all these other nations, and even through them, through what America is doing with them, even through them, all these other nations are starting to see, all right, that America's word ain't worth shit, man. You know, how can you do business with someone whose word isn't worth a thing, man? And that the statement he made, it says the statement this guy made, you know, goes to show you how the Russians feel about America. They could do anything on the back of this anti-Russian hysteria. They could shoot themselves in the foot or head, he suggested. Basically meaning how they understand and know that Esau, Edom, or America, you know, or as the scriptures call them as Babylon, all right, they shiesty, you know, they shiesty as hell. This is, let's see, 1 Thessalonians 5 and 1. You know, basically going to show you that America is not upright. You know, they say one thing, they do another. You know, this is 1 Thessalonians 5 and 1. But of the times and season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, all right, and what was it? I think maybe like last month or 2 months ago, they had it where I guess they had it where some type of peace talk was supposed to be going on between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. All right, so from that treaty being broken, you know, as the quote I just read, they understand that America got some mischievous act up their sleeve, you know. So that was it. You know, just an article I thought I'd share with you, Akim. With that, Shalom.